Hello. So I woke up today and there was a comment on an old Josh Scorcher vid I made that said that he made a new video and asked me if I would do a commentary on it, and I said, yeah, alright, why not? I don't know if this is going to be funny. I've not seen this before. I don't know if I'll even upload this. I woke up like 30 minutes ago, so hey, I'm just going to do it. And if it comes out one way, it comes out one way, right? Who cares?
After tackling the weirdly sexy bosses and the male sex bosses,
Why did he put Waluigi in that one? That doesn't seem right.
time that I dedicate a full boss list to the fairer sex. While the range of body types is undeniably less varied, there are countless examples of sexy females in gaming. The rules
He picks Rouge the Bat as his example. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying, right? You know, like, you're 15 seconds into your video, buddy, right? You know? Don't start the show with the showstopper.
are pretty much the same as the last time we did this. How much fan service do they provide? How does their personality or backstory contribute? How much internet thirsts or apologists have they generated? And of course, how good is their boss battle? Also, like before, because I'm...
Oh, he's a little PNG tuber now. Look at that. Oh. Mine's binary, right? My little common writer dude that I use sometimes. He's either on or he's off. He's got emotions. He's got a little wedding wing. What the fuck? He's got a little wedding ring. His t-shirt's covered up. You can see it poking through, so you know he's still the good old one you have. I like that his goatee looks fake. It's too big, but also it kind of covers parts of his mouth it shouldn't. So it looks like he's wearing like a fake one, like an actor would.
I'm a very biased man with very biased tastes when it comes to women. I had to greatly rely on my fellow writers to help me with this one.
You do realize that the writers picked a bunch of weird and or obscure entries to annoy you, right?
Ain't no fucking way he has writers. He's got a Discord channel with like 3 people who will like spitball at him, right? I don't do that shit. I don't let anyone in my Discord tell me any fucking thing. If anyone's in my fucking group chat sends me a joke and it's already in something that I'm making, I take it out because that means it's hack shit. What?
Mambo, he in here?
He was. I don't think he is anymore.
Mambo!
Hey, shut my door! I'm working.
Okay, maybe this won't be so bad. I mean, it was easier than the last 2 lists. What are we starting with?
Well, I'll at least say it shouldn't be too shocking.
It's Phosphora, isn't it? Oh, of course it is. Why not?
Who the fuck is this?
God, I mean, she's Larksheen without the personality turnoff. This electrifying beauty made our hearts skip a beat when she...
Oh, okay. Like, Nintendo weirdos to this day still talk about Kid Icarus Uprising like it's William Friedkin's Sorcerer, right? Like, to them, there was a better path where history vindicated this game properly. And this was a massive hit, and there's a franchise of these, right? And they all love it because it's anime. It's like middle-of-the-road anime stuff, right? It's anime tropes. No one ever talks about the gameplay or anything like that, right? No one really thinks about this game anymore, aside from, like, dudes who only engage with, like, Nintendo shit. They talk about it sometimes. Even they don't really talk about it so much. But, like, this is, like, the Nintendo guy who wants to be taken serious talks about this game. They don't talk about, like, actual, interesting, mature art Nintendo makes, like Metroid, right? That's a more mature series, generally. It's more tonally interesting. It's a little darker. But there's not, like, something you can point to with Metroid, right? Metroid is more mature in the sense that it's not bogged down. You can't, like, show me a sizzle reel of Metroid and I'll get it. But this one, you know, oh yeah, he wants to bang, he wants to fuck, he wants to get his jizz out. That's what they're talking about. in the Nintendo chats, is getting their jizz out.
She first made her appearance in Kid Icarus Uprising, which may not be healthy since that stage you fight her in is a massive rush of adrenaline. Kicking Thanatos' plump hiney show.
This game also looks insane. Like, this is a nonsense game. Like, there's a reason they've never brought this to another platform. It's because visually this game makes no sense. It's like bullshit, right? It's like The World Ends With You in that you're supposed to be like playing two games at once and it doesn't really work, but the fans of this game are so intense that you don't want to say that because you don't want to get dragged into some shit. No one wants to admit that The World Ends With You was better when they took out the dual screen stuff, alright? But it's true. I'm sorry, but it just is.
Cases her power. What people remember her for is her interactions with Pit and Palutena. Whether she makes fun of the goddess or flirts with the angel, that snark of hers is a real charm.
So you're basically squatting in this abandoned temple. Dignified.
Not squatting, repurposing.
Like, it's all basic level shonen stuff, right? Like, this is the type of shit that, like, Luffy says to the pirate on the island, except when Luffy does it, right, like, the pirate he's yelling at is like a fucked up Popeye abomination, so it's a bit funnier. It's just literally like if you've never seen an action movie before, right, like, I bet, I'm trying to think of a shitty action movie, or like a mediocre action movie, and I'm having trouble, because they don't really make them anymore, you know? Like, if you've never seen a proper action movie, I bet 21 Jump Street feels like crazy, you know? Like, that's an insane film. You show someone, you know, who's like that, you show them The Raid, their head will explode, right? Kid Icarus Uprising is not The Raid. Few things are, admittedly.
Short. All that build up and you can beat her with a good bow or ranged weapon. At least her attacks are quick enough to keep you on your toes. And the developers knew she was going to be popular too, as she came to help you a couple of times later on and even showed up as an assist trophy in Smash Bros.
Phosphor is a pretty basic example, but she does have enough thirst online where she easily makes this list.
I've never seen this character before. I've played Smash Brothers and I've never seen this character before.
And it is kind of cute seeing her flirt with Pit, even if it was just to catch him off guard.
They all fucking flirt with Pit, dude. Again, right? I'm gonna uncap my power level here for a second. I'm big into Naruto. I was big into Naruto as a kid. I still am. I've seen more Boruto episodes than maybe anyone else alive has seen. I legitimately think no one else but me has actually watched it. It's not very good, but in the anime for Naruto, something they would do is when they had to make their own little arcs, they would introduce like a female character who sort of developed a crush on Naruto that was unrequited, right? Like, they never got to confess it because they're not a real character, but they would always do that. There was a conga line of them, and then you read Kishimoto's actual Naruto, there's one woman who can stand to be in a room with him up until he's like a martial arts master. There's like 2 or 3 that like begrudgingly respect him, and there's one that has any interest in him. And that never changes. Only one woman in like all of Naruto ever actually likes him. Probably because the character is supposed to be like an obnoxious asshole, right? Like, he's an obnoxious dweeb that people don't want to admit is legitimately like getting somewhere, that he's doing some cool shit. That's why Naruto rules. That's why he's the best shonen protagonist, alright? Fucking Luffy could never do what Naruto does. But I digress. Most basic anime shit you can do is fill your thing up with pretty ladies who are all flirting with the protagonist who's totally clueless about it, guys. It's so fucking hack. Ah!
I don't know. I could see the sparks flying between them.
This is going to be the whole list, huh?
I fucking hate his wife.
Did you forget who our writers are? And who you're collabing with? Chaos Goblin Lives.
Why is this his thing, his transition between checks? This is from Dead Rising 2. It's a pair of, You can't really say whores anymore. I feel like that's the proper term, but it's not very kosher. It's a pair of ladies of the night that you get in a fight with. It's a shitty boss fight, I remember this. It's very weird. What is it supposed to convey to me? There's gotta be another character, right? You couldn't put, like, the weird lure ladies from Devil May Cry 4. You couldn't find something a little more, like, evocative. What an odd clip to choose. Wait, does every one of these have a different editor? That's funny. I haven't played this game, and I still kind of want to, so I'm gonna skip this. When Hi-Fi Rush came out, I'm a big action game guy, and I should have been all over this, and I just wasn't. And that's because I got way into Monster Hunter last year. I played Monster Hunter World for like 2 months straight. I went from having I'd played the PS4 version before. I went on the Steam version from no hours to like 260, 280 or something. It's still like my second or third most played game on Steam. I think the only stuff above it is like, I think Magic the Gathering, which I got way into at the end of the year. And no, I think it's still top. I don't think I have anything else on that level.
Hit.
Why is everyone on the internet so horny?
Actually, don't stop. It's funny.
Anywho, Chai tells Course.
No, we're gonna keep going. There we go. I hate it when these people talk about Metal Gear. You want to be wrong about Kid Icarus, that's one thing, right? Who gives a shit? It's Kid Icarus. Who cares? That's a non-entity. Metal Gear is meaningful, right? If you're wrong about a Marvel movie, it's okay. If you're wrong about Apocalypse Now, it's offensive. That's how I feel.
Since the first Solid game, we've gotten a steady supply of guys and gals to satisfy just about everyone. Among them, none are quite more sexualized than Quiet.
This is such a sophomoric fucking way to view this character. Is she? She's wearing a bikini and leggings. Calm down.
Introduced as an enemy to Snake, Quiet quickly becomes a key ally after being defeated. As the story progresses, she slowly warms up to him and becomes something of a love interest.
So, Beauty and the Beast, but you're the Beast.
Pretty much.
What?
What the hell are you talking about?
So what the heck is she doing so low? To be brutally honest, I'm not a huge fan of her design.
Okay, why'd you put her on the list? Take her off the list then, you fucking moron.
Blatantly fake gasp!
Yeah, call me a Puritan, but I honestly feel it's a bit much. Yes, I know it's explained in game and everything, but it's so...
Alright, I'm not gonna give him too much grip about this. I kind of agree. I think her design is just not very interesting. I think her design at the start of the game, when you first meet her, where her hair is down and she's wearing fatigues, is way better. I think some of Yoji Shinkawa's concept art where she's like she's wearing her fatigue shirt and she's like got her cigarettes tied to her arm and stuff. I think that's more interesting. When I use Quiet, I usually give her the fucking fatigues anyway, because I just think it's a better design. I don't disagree with that. It's your fucking list. Take her off.
Silly and over the top that to me it becomes weirdly unsexy.
And while it's died down,
It's not that silly, okay? She's wearing a bikini and leggings, right? Can we stop pretending this is a crazy fucking look for a woman? This is pretty basic.
discourse over her back in the day was everywhere, and it got pretty obnoxious. You couldn't go to anything that so much as mentioned Metal Gear Solid 5 without seeing a dispute over her. Eventually, it just got to the point where I was just like, quiet!
Wait a minute.
I like that he has his wife do anything where he complains about, like, okay. Clearly, it was a big feminist think piece on Quiet's design, for better or for worse, right? And clearly, I think he got his wife to say it so that way he wouldn't look like a shitty dude for coming in and talking about it, instead of just owning it, right? And just take your lumps as you go. Who cares? Whatever. Why was she there? Certainly the other two characters whose designs and personalities you did like belonged higher.
I say whip it! Whip it good!
It's just, every time, it's the most basic entry-level joke imaginable, right? Well, she has a whip. Let's play Whip It by Devo. Shut up.
And thus we have Megaa, one of the three Furies of Tartarus and Hades. Sometime before the game, she and Zag dated and then broke it off for kind of vague reasons. They moved on with their lives until Zag tries to make a break for it. Then she's gotta try to whip him into shape. I love my writers. I love my writers. I love my...
He spends so much fucking time doing this joke. Like, every fucking time he writes a punchline, or anyone writes a punchline, he goes like, oh, that's so awful. All right, like, how many... You can do that once in, like, your career. And then you can't do it again. And he does it every fucking time. Jesus. Stop patting.
Writers.
I adore our writers. I feed them all the cookies. And of course, she ain't coming quietly, as her boss fight has her running circles around you with whips, lunges, volleys, and fire! And, if needed, she's got reinforcements she could call on any time. But hey, the good news is after you beat her, you could get a second chance to romance her all over again. Or you could romance Grim Reaper Daddy Thanatos instead. Depends on your preference. I know which one I'm going for.
And of course, there's the thirst online. Oh, mama, I see the thirst online. And I get why there is. She's got an alluring skin tone.
What? What does that mean? She's got an alluring skin tone? Well, how are you supposed to read that? Okay. So, if you're at home and you don't know what he's talking about here, and you probably don't, I'm going to maybe, with the gift of prophecy given to me by Apollo, explain what's happening here. A lot of the characters in this game, Hades, are modeled over people who live in the Mediterranean area. The Mediterranean area is this big old chunk of area. I might be wrong about that. But Greece, ancient Greece, stretched from most of southern Europe to the southern Middle East through northern Africa. So they got a bunch of different people to be models from different places. So there's North African models, there's Greek models, there's Italian models, there's Middle Eastern models for different characters, for different people. I think I remember seeing someone say that, like, characters like Zeus, because they were celebrated by everyone in those regions, actually have, you know, traditional facial features from different groups, making up their sort of distinct look, alright? It's an interesting idea. I think it works pretty well. I like the designs in the game pretty well. Sort of the undertone to that was, oh yeah, no, we have a really diverse, you know, cast of whatever. That's fine. In the game itself, she has like a corpse's skin tone, right? Because she's dead. She has an alluring skin tone. That's his way of being like, yeah, no, they got a really diverse, powerful woman, and I'm putting her on the list because I recognize that. That's how I'm going to choose to read that. That's stupid, right? Fellas, I'm going to clue you in on some shit, alright? If you want to date someone of a different race, do not bring up their skin tone in any fucking context, alright? It's not going to go over, it's not going to read as cute, you're not going to read as woke, you're not addressing the elephant in the room, alright? There's not a black woman in the fucking world who wants to hear a white boy tell her, you know, like that she's got beautiful chocolatey skin, okay? At least not one that she's not already fucking, alright? You gotta earn that. You gotta get pretty deep in there, and then maybe she'll let you say it, okay? This is not the way to do it. The opposite is that he's just a corpse fucker, which, is that better or worse? I'll leave that up to you.
She clearly takes great care of her bod, and as for her voice...
You won't be getting out of here without a dance.
That was awful. I've never heard that before. I guess I don't pay that much attention, but that was really shitty. That sounded like a Newgrounds voice actor from back in the day. In that it sounded, the audio quality sounded like what you would get from one of those. It might actually be a Newgrounds voice actor who went mainstream. If it is, good for them, right? But that was not a good example.
So yeah, it's not too hard to see where the thirst for her comes from. But she's not really my type.
Why is she on the fucking list? This pisses me off so much, right? I bet if you, like, you want to have your little pervy list of all the people you jerk off to, right? Hey, man, good for you, right? Own it. I'm a sex-positive person, okay? Two people want to fuck, and they're both into it. Godspeed. You know, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're men. I don't care if you're a man and a woman. I don't care if you're a couple of pigs doing a cow. Okay, I'm cool with all of it. Godspeed. Don't fucking play this game and you're like, well, actually, I don't like her all that much. And if you don't like her all that much, take her off the fucking list. Like, don't play this fucking bullshit game of like, well, I like women for more than their bodies, you know? And there's just not enough personality there for me, personally. I like a woman with a big brain, and she's more of a gym thought, so, like, fuck off.
You speak the blasphemia fluently.
Look, I can't beat around the bush. She's hella not my type. She's a depressing grump, and the whips are just... yeah. Plus, even though there isn't much tension between her and Zach, he admits it was his fault they broke up, and she doesn't totally resent him. She still keeps trying to kill him. Kind of makes you wonder if that second chance attempt is really worth it. Still, I recognize the attraction. While I'm not really into it, I won't shame those who are.
Okay, let's play this his way, right? If he's actually trying to make like an academic top 10 sexy female bosses, are you going to tell me that this character is in the top 10 for all video games? Like, if you're objectively writing them out, this character gets on the list? Because if that's what he's going for, that's stupid. And he's not attracted to him, so take him off the fucking list. What are you doing? He really has a different editor for every numbered entry. I wonder if that was the deal. Like, these are their submissions? How did they put together the numeric order, then? Do you think they drew straws?
So our winner for this list's most obvious game is Bayonetta! Come on down!
Bayonetta's not a boss fight.
Yeah, I got nothing here. This game has some bewitching bosses.
Shut up. There he goes, right? Every fucking time.
Well, we say that, but there isn't anyone beating the queen of sex appeal herself, Bayonetta.
I've never been very attracted to Bayonetta. It's not like a personal thing. I don't know. Like, I get it. I like her as a character quite a bit, actually. It's never worked for me.
A fellow Umbral Witch rival that satisfies the boss condition.
Jean is Bayonetta's childhood friend.
Jean's not done it either. Jean. They said Jean. I don't think that's it. It's the French version of Jean, and I know that because of Fate. It's not my deal either. I think it's the hair. She's got like the Leia hair, and then that's never worked, and then she loosens it up a lot. And like the people who like Jean are really obnoxious about it.
Wearing a skin-tight red jumpsuit.
It's skin tight, yeah, but it shows absolutely no curves, right? It's the least flattering skin tight suit you can have. It's like the skin-tight suit the one fucking dude had to wear in the Phantom. That was it. He had almost nothing to say about that. That's pathetic. He's just phoning it in.
The Trials of Mana remake really took the fan service to the next level.
What the fuck? I didn't know this came out. I know like 2 dudes who are into these games, and I didn't know this came out.
Not that the original was lacking in it, but the new art style gave the characters quite a glow up. And by far the biggest receiver of it was Badana.
Right off the bat, Badana has quite a bit going for her. She's got that whole sexy Arabian ruler thing going on.
She's supposed to be Arabian? She's got a turban, but that's it, right?
Shout out to Big Chungus29 for the donation. My stream demands you die.
God, I wish that was me.
That can be arranged.
It's just I don't know where this shit comes from. Where does he find it? What's the context? Can you clue me in a little bit?
Of course, all this is just the cover for her full splendor.
That may be the hottest geek I've ever laid eyes on.
Yeah? How about now?
Yeah, still hot.
It's just you can. How does he remember it? How does he remember these bits from the cartoons? Right? He has to be still watching shit. He has to still be legitimately sitting down and watching Danny Phantom, and then he sees something funny, and he's like, oh, I'll write that into my review next, right? There's no way he remembers this shit from 10 years ago.
Everything about her is an absolute feast for the furries. She has flowing hair, massive thigh gap, built-in eyeshadow, and makes no attempt to cover her, assets.
You didn't need to do that part, man. That was over the line.
Next she'll tell us she was designed by an actual furry, and that is exactly what happened.
I guess. I'm looking at this, and like, this just looks like nice art. This doesn't strike me as furry art. If this person, I wouldn't be surprised if the person who drew this is one, but I feel like furry art has a very, like, flash tub sort of look to it. This is just nice art. This just looks pleasant.
That explains everything.
Just nothing, man. He's got nothing at all. He's just padding it out.
But in terms of conventional, in heavy, heavy quotation marks, sexiness,
behold, the Giga Mermaid, queen of her kind and a whopper of a catch. Normally a pretty chill fish lady, she's been mind-controlled by Techno Baron and chained up. Oh wow, that's a lot of kinks already. We're gonna have to do some major platforming to free her from the binds. Because yes, when I see an Amazon fish lady rampaging, my first thought is, hey, let's give her more free reign to smash us. Don't.
So yeah, you free her and she decides to thank you by trying to zap you and fish slap you into oblivion. But you push her back a few times while staying alive yourself, and eventually you break the spell and expose the rest of Techno Baron's scheme of kidnapping maidens and selling them as fake mermaids by having their lower halves swallowed by fish?
Oh my god, he's whacked.
That's a reasonably goofy setup for a comedy, right? Instead of just having him dress up, he has them half eaten by fish. Like, that's the twist on it. Like, you gotta act like everything. You gotta fucking pretend all the fucking time. I have not a lot to say about this. I remember this character getting revealed, but the fact that she doesn't have, like, a proper name, right? Like...
Okay, back to the not creepy part. What makes Giga Mermaid so sexy? Okay, you really need me to spell this one out. She's like if She-Hulk was a mermaid. Like, an Amazon mermaid. That's only wearing a shell bra. I am but a man who can see why that's hot. It's not exactly that deep.
Amazing. Absolutely. Alright, credit where credit's due. I don't have a lot to say about that. I didn't see anything very objectionable. He didn't say anything weird or out of place on that. It just seems weird to put that so high for a character that's not really a character, right? It's a set piece. It's like if I put the train from Uncharted 2 on this list, right? That's a cool part of the game, right? It's a fun segment. It's a cool thing and it's neat. Like, but maybe it's not, you know, top 10 bosses territory.
Go, Gadget!
Sorry you had to see that.
And now that...
What could you possibly be getting at from this? I feel like this doesn't count if it's a fighting game, because fighting games don't have bosses. I mean, they do. Today, they kind of don't, but they used to have real ones, right? I don't think Guilty Gear has ever had one, though.
Mental image has been breathed into existence. Let's talk Guilty Gear. Specifically, I want to talk about a boss from the second game in the Igzerd sub-series, Igzerd Revelator. Jacko Valentine, usually referred to by her first name Jacko, is one of the three servants to the Gear Maker alongside Raven and Eno.
Wait, that passed me by for a second. Jacko Valentine, usually just referred to by her first name Jacko. You mean like every other person on the fucking planet? Everyone refers to each other by their first names, idiot.
No. Her past is shrouded in mystery, unlike her need to wear her mask and inability to function without candy. Jacko already appeals with her skin-tight one-piece outfit that doesn't just have slits on her calves and forearms, but also down her chest, giving her a deep V-neck. She's also got long and wavy red hair, black and red heels that match her gloves, and if you manage to beat her, you'll get to see what she looks like without the mask.
Again, this feels like it shouldn't count because she's just a character. She's a boss character in the sense that she's the last one you fight, but I don't even think she has special moves as her boss variant. I think she's just the normal character.
Jacko Valentine is a solid boss who definitely delivers on that anime girl sex appeal. Funnily enough, as of Guilty Gear Strive, she's retroactively a GILF due to Arya's soul inhabiting her body.
Now, every time I try to talk to a girl, I'm like, yeah, you're cute, but you ain't Nana.
Is she a GILF? I don't think she has... I guess, if you want to be charitable, I guess Soul, like, adopted Sin, so that kind of counts. But I feel like that's still a weird way to go about it. It may be controversial, I feel like Jacko looked better in Igzerd with the white hair. I don't think the red hair version is quite as good. I get why they did it. I don't think it's a bad design or something. It's a little disappointing that all Jacko art now is of the red hair version.
Really puts her over the edge, though, is that simple yet appealing crouching animation that made her an internet icon. She's probably the reason many people know about the Guilty Gear franchise at all.
That's very silly. That's very silly because this didn't become... people were talking about this, but this didn't become like a big thing until after she got added to Shrive. I think a little while after she got added to Shrive. But Shrive was a pretty big deal at launch. It was a pretty huge success, all things considered. Maybe not a Street Fighter level success, but it had a more crossover hit than any other like anime fighter had. My dogs are freaking out, and I'm not gonna fix it. I'm not gonna fix it. They're gonna freak out at something. I don't know what it is. Someone else in my house will fix it. Again, I don't know if that counts. I don't consider that a boss fight. This feels so odd. It feels like you shouldn't make lists proclaiming to be the top 10 of a medium unless you played like at least 70%, right? You have to have way more experience to say something like that. You have to narrow your parameters.
Awesome rock on her, though.
Honey, you're not looking at vampire boobs again, are you?
No, darling.
Yeah, when you saw this video pop up in your notifications, you knew this one was coming. Resident
This doesn't count unless it's the dragon version. If you want to fuck this one, this is not a boss fight. You never get to do anything with this, right? This is a tyrant. You gotta fuck the big dragon thing she turns into. That counts.
Evil Village introduces us to Lady Domates, a 10-foot-tall, 400-pound woman in an alluring 1920s-style getup, complete with stiletto high heels and rakishly angled hat.
It never worked for me. I think it's because they kind of play it with her face a little bit, so she looks real, like, clownish. I think that's intentional, right? They wanted her to come across a certain way, and I think people got, like, way into the meme, as they usually do, so they were playing into it, rather than it being anything genuine. This is my thoughts.
You first meet her when she's arguing with Heisenberg over your character's fate. Once you escape from Heisenberg's clutches, we're able to properly make her acquaintance after getting kidnapped by her bloodthirsty daughters.
Yeah, from the moment you meet her, she exudes a sort of step on me energy.
Yeah, like that's one of like the 3 fetishes that are socially acceptable on the internet and like leftist circles because it's not like misogynistic. Because you're giving power back to the woman, you know? I bet it's really fucking annoying to be a woman over 5'8" and constantly have these fucking fat dudes talk about you stepping on them. I bet it's the worst thing in the world. I bet it's worse than being catcalled, right? Because at least on some level, a catcall is like a dude being attracted to you, and you can read that as a compliment. It's hard for someone to say, step on me, and read that as a compliment, right? If someone said that to me, I would be offended. And I am offended, alright? This is offensive, alright? Take it down.
Anyone with a taste for giant women that have an added level of snark may forget for a second that she also has a taste for human flesh. Then again, knowing the internet, they'd probably be into that too. Thanks, Twilight. No, not you!
The fuck? It is 2024. It has been a decade, at least. It's been like 15 years since a Twilight anything came out. What are you doing? Can you update your reference book, please? There has to be something that came out this decade that you could have referenced instead, right?
If you thought that she was large and powerful in this form, well, you better not make her angry, Markipliers of the world, because she can get pretty murderous when provoked. After going full Wolverine and stabbing you in the stomach, she reveals her true form. A mutated dragon with a demogorgon-shaped mouth and her body attached to its back, complete with tentacles. I know you're supposed to love people at their worst.
Wait, he said demogorgon because of the thing in Stranger Things. It's a demogorg. It's not a demogorgon. It's a demogorg. Get it right.
But
looks like your outside matches your inside.
I'd still hit
No!
Now, full disclosure, as conventionally attractive as she is, she doesn't really do it for me.
Then take her off the fucking list. What are you doing?
I don't know. Someone trying to kill me kinda kills the romance. I know others that are into that, but not me.
It's your list.
Just really great lighting on her chest.
Are you sure you're not talking about Karlach now?
That is some really great lighting on her chest. Like, it's just this translucent. It really does. Oh man, that's just great.
You'll never let me live that down, will you?
It's okay, honey. Karlach is best golden retriever girlfriend. Rouge from Sonic. Copious amounts of internet thirst brought down by a single boss fight that sucks.
Okay, so the quality of the boss fight does count, right? Like, that was at least a boss fight.
Ah, the Pokemon world. Home of beasties, ladies, and fellas of all shapes, sizes, and tastes. From cuddly ice mamas to beach pro wrestler daddies to self-awareness. There's literally something for everyone.
But when it comes to boss fights, which lovely mistress of the Pokemon world truly stands above the rest in terms of character and beauty? Well, personally, it feels only right that an absolute queen take the crown. Or, dare we say, a champion.
Shut up.
So dance, wanna